So what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tay, and today we are doing a tips video on eBay, baby. Yes, we haven't done a tips video in a while. Last year, at the beginning of the year, I dropped 40 tips for eBay, and this year I want to do the same thing. We're going to do tips video for 2022. So hello, if you're new to the channel, my name is Dante. It is Prison2Profit. I like to talk about eBay, and yeah, that's pretty much. No, that's not it. That's definitely not it. I like to talk about reselling and making money and how we turn $1 into that magical $1 more, because that's what we do on this channel. And I try to show you guys that if I can do it, anybody can do it. Literally, anybody can do it. If I can go out there and make some money going into Goodwills and yard sales and things of that nature, come on, guys. There's no way that you cannot do it yourself.
You can do it! You can do it!
And I've been an eBay seller for going on 4 years now. Oh my God. I'm getting old, getting up there and getting old. And I just have a few tips that I personally would recommend. And obviously you don't have to do that. This is just my personal advice. But these are just some of the things that I think you can use and utilize in your eBay business. Some things from shipping, some things from sourcing, but it all pertains to everything eBay. So without further ado, let's talk about 28 tips that you can use for eBay in 2022. One of the tips that I'm going to suggest is make sure that we are taking out the batteries before the item sells. So let's say you go out there and you find an item, you find a race car, the race car takes batteries. Take the batteries out of that race car and maybe tape it to the race car until the item sells. What happens if you have an item like a baby toy that's been sitting for 2 years or something in your eBay store and it corrodes because you didn't take out the battery before you send it to the customer? So make sure that we're taking out batteries and items before we even send it to the customer. So while it's sitting in our storage, just go ahead and take out the batteries. And while we're on the subject of batteries, tip number 2, make sure that we are taking batteries with you while you're sourcing. You would hate to go to a Goodwill, you would hate to go to a yard sale, see an item, see it uses batteries, you take it home after you purchase it, and it does not work. You could have easily avoided that by taking you a set of AAA and AA batteries, which are the most common batteries that majority of the items out there uses. And that way you can test items. Now, I'm not saying you need to have A's, B's, C's, and the D's, and all kinds of other batteries that they have out there on you, but the most common ones you might want to keep on you, especially if you know you're going to spend a nice, good day thrifting. Go ahead and take you some batteries so you can test those items while you're out. Tip number 3, while you're out, somebody asks, what do you do for a living? Let them know that you are a reseller. Do you know how many times I got good deals because I told somebody I was a reseller, or they let me know about another sale that's going on, or they gave me their number because they wanted me to contact them when I wanted to make another purchase or something like that? Like, don't mind telling people that you're a reseller. And then even for me, I kind of carry a GoPro on me sometimes. So they're like, what do you do? Before I even let them know I'm a YouTuber, I'm like, yeah, I'm a reseller. Just because, again, you find so many great deals. Don't get me wrong. Some people are going to try to take advantage of you and they're going to try to give you straight eBay prices, but you'll get more people trying to give you a deal than not. Tip number 4, you want to pre-weigh all of your items before you list them. Right as you're listing your item, go ahead and weigh it so that way you know exactly how much it weighs. You don't know how many people, or how many times even myself, I have just listed an item, and when it's time to ship an item, you'll pull up the shipping measurements and the measurements will be completely off, and even the pounds will be off. You'll end up shipping a 15-pound item that when you sold similar, it might be only 7 pounds. So now you're paying way more in shipping because you didn't do that one step and weigh the item before you actually listed it.
We messed up bad. We messed up real bad.
So you want to make sure that you know exactly how much the item weighs. So then you also know exactly what your shipping cost is really going to be. That will mess you up, guys. Make sure that you're paying attention to that. Tip number 4 is crucial. Weigh those items before you list them. Tip number 5, because I forgot about the batteries, make sure that we check for corrosion while you're sourcing. So if you run into an item and it does take batteries, get that item open and make sure that the batteries are not corroded, because you're going to run into at least a good 27% of corroded items that are sitting in Goodwills and people's yard sales and estate sales and things of that nature. 27% of those items are definitely going to be corroded. So you want to make sure that we check for corrosion, just to make sure that you're not buying an item that you're gonna have to clean and try to get all the corrosion off, or that's just no good because it's just corroded too badly. So yeah. Tip number 6 is I always say check your sold comps. I'm always saying check sold comps, but when you check your sold comps, make sure that we're actually checking the conditioning as well. So if you have an item and you check the sold comp and it's a used item, make sure that we're going to condition as well and clicking the used prices. That way you're not comping your item compared to new items. You want to be comparing your items to actually the items that are selling out there in the market. So if you have a used item, you want to click under the condition used item as well as click sold and completed items, so you can see the real true prices that items are selling for. Check the completed used tab. Tip number 7. This is a tip that I wish I utilized more myself. I got the tip a long time ago and I just never really use it. If you're out there sourcing and you find an item, if you know you're gonna have to list that item, go ahead and just click into that item like you're about to sell it and then just close it. That way it's saved in your draft. That way when you go home and it's time to list all your items, they're already in your draft. Keep in mind, your drafts do delete after, I believe, 30 or 90 days. I'm not quite sure which one, but they will delete. So just know that you can save those items in your draft. That way you don't have to re-look up every single item. They're already saved in your draft. You can just go take the pictures and list them. Tip number 8. This one is very important. I kind of don't care if you are a full-time reseller, part-time reseller, or even if you do this as a hobby. You want to create you a completely separate bank account for your reselling. This way you can keep track exactly how much money that you're putting in and out of that particular business or that particular venture. Like, you want to have separate bank accounts. I cannot say that enough. You don't want to eat where you piss, right? Is that the saying?
Remember what they say about not talking?
You don't want to do that. So you want to keep everything separate at all times. And the money that you use for your business, make sure you're using it for your business. And the money that you're using for your personal life, make sure that you're using it for personal life. I know it seems very small and a tedious tip, but trust me, in the long run, it comes in handy. It really does. Tip number 9, make sure that we are taking advantage of all these tax credits and breaks that we get. If you do anything business related and you're putting gas in your car, save those receipts. If you're doing anything business related and you stop and you have lunch, save those receipts. We know that this year, all of our lunch is pretty much 100% tax deductible. So just make sure that we're taking advantage of all these breaks that they're allowing for us, man. So like gas, your entertainment, your food, majority of that stuff is a tax write-off. The computer that you're using, the camera that you're using to record on for your YouTube videos, whatever it is dealing with your business, there's probably a tax credit or something along with it that you need to look up and make sure that you get that break, especially dealing with eBay. Your shipping is pretty much a tax write-off. Like, there's so many things dealing with eBay that you can get breaks off of that a lot of people are not taking advantage of. I am not a tax expert. Consult your tax expert and find out the breaks and things that you can get breaks on. Find out the breaks and things that you can get breaks on. Tip number 10, do not feel pressured to ship every single day. You don't have to have your shipping on daily or even next day. I have my shipping on 3-day shipping. I ship more than 3 days a week, but I have it on 3-day shipping so I can give myself time and I can actually ship when I want and or need to. Like on Mondays, if I ship, normally my orders don't have to be shipped out until Wednesday, but I ship that Monday anyway because I have a 3-day window. Don't feel pressured. It's not going to kill your stats. I'm still a top rated seller and I have my shipping on 3 days. So just saying. Tip number 11, please don't forget to utilize USPS and get all of your free packaging materials that you're allowed to get. You're probably going to use a lot of the flat rate envelopes. So get a few of the flat rate envelopes and get you some of those bubble envelopes as well. And I also recommend getting some of the customs forms that I personally use when I didn't have a label maker. I used to fold up the paper and then put it in that customs form. That way that saved me tape because it automatically comes in a clear little slip that you can put your label in and put it on the box. That's what I used to do for USPS. That's just me. Just utilize USPS and all the free boxing materials that you can. Shipping can get expensive, especially when you're buying tape, bubble wrap, polymailers, all kinds of other things. It can get expensive. So try to get all the free shipping materials that you can. And I would start at USPS. And tip number 12, if you're in Goodwill, they usually have an outlet for you to be able to test the electronics and just certain items. And even if you're at a yard sale, people usually have yard sales and their garage sales. You can usually test an item and they'll let you. So if you have an item and it's fairly expensive and you want to purchase it, I just go up to them like, hey, you don't mind if I test this item? And it will also let you know like if it works or not. If you go to somebody and like, can I test this item? And they're being kind of iffy, the item probably doesn't work. But if you go to them like, yo, can I test this item? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And then you probably know that it's probably going to work. So you can just go plug it up real quick and unplug it. But you can always ask, yo, can I test this item? And that's going to let you know the conditioning of an item a lot of the times. But you want to do that anyway. So if you're at Goodwill or something like that, test every item that you can. Tip number 13, do not be afraid to take chances on items. Keyword is take chances on items, certain items. If you see it's a high dollar profit margin, there may not be sales comp sometimes. You can take that chance, guys, especially if you're already in your profits and you know, like if you go in a haul one day and you get 20 items and you know one of those items may not ever sell, but it has a high dollar profit margin, but you know the other maybe 17 items will definitely sell or whatever I just said, then yeah, go ahead and take a chance on that item that may not sell if it's a high dollar item because you already bought enough profits that's going to cover that item. And then it's also like you're testing the market. So don't be afraid to test the market with random items. I'm not saying if you're a brand new reseller, go test the market with every single item. You're going to have to get your feet wet first.
To avoid harm, you must first learn how you harm yourself.
If you've been reselling for a while, then you can start going out there and testing your market in other areas. So yeah, just don't be afraid to test the market. Which brings me to tip number 14. Please do not look at anybody else's numbers and think that you have to do what they're doing. Everybody has different expectations. Like you cannot look at my numbers and think you have to have those numbers, or you cannot look at somebody else's numbers and think you have to have those numbers. I'm just going to use a small example. My numbers, if you looked at on one of my accounts, they won't blow you away, but that's one account. I have multiple eBay accounts. So don't look at my numbers because you're going to look at one account and be like, oh, he's not making no money, but I have multiple streams of income and 2 eBay accounts. So you're only going to see one eBay account. Just keep that in mind. Or you might have somebody who lives in California. Their sales may be $30,000, but guess what? Their cost of living is $30,000, versus if you're on the opposite side of the coast, you may not need a 90-day total of $30,000. Your 90-day total of $5,000 can be very sufficient enough for you. I'm not saying be easy, be slack, but just don't look at nobody else's numbers because that also doesn't show profit margins. Like their $30,000 90-day total, they can only be profiting $1,000 when somebody may have a $10,000 9-day total and $9,000 could be profit. So just never look at nobody else's number. Only pay attention to your profit margins because that's all that matters at the end of the day. What is this business doing for you and your business? That's all that matters. So, go with what you believe. Tip number 15. Let's say there's an item out there. It costs $12 and you find that item for $1, but everybody's charging free shipping. You don't want to charge free shipping because you won't have that good profit margin. Here's what I recommend you do. You take that item, instead of charging $12 free shipping, you're going to charge $10.99 and you're going to charge shipping. But you're also going to promote that item. You're going to promote that item to balance out whatever price you're paying in shipping. So let's say if you charged $10 and shipping costs $5, you're going to want to promote that item to probably like around $1.40 something cents. That's going to help eBay push your item above everybody else who charged free shipping. I'm going to tell you why. It's because eBay wants that promoted listing fee. So even though my listing looks better because I'm giving you $12 free shipping, your item might sell first because eBay is going to show it to more people because eBay is greedy. They want that promoted fee. So if that makes any sense, I hope you caught that. So if you have an item, if it's sitting around, you're seeing everybody charging free shipping, but you might not make no money, you can charge shipping, but promote it a little bit because that promotion is going to help eBay push that item for you. Tip number 16. There are so many people who ship from their phone. They literally will ship an item one at a time. I was that guy for 6 months into my reselling journey. If you can bulk ship, please do. If you have more than one eBay order, just go to the computer and ship from there because it's going to be so much quicker, and you can bulk ship. You can literally ship all 20 items at one time. You don't want to do it one at a time on your phone. It's annoying. Tell me, there's a place where you can go bulk shipping, and then all of your items will pop up and all of your labels will print at the same time. Especially if you're using 8x11 paper, you have to put the label in the printer and then you have to let it print out. Then you have to put the label back in the printer. No, you can just print all the labels at one time and they will print on both halves of the paper. It is beautiful. Trust me. And then if you have a label printer, which that's another tip we'll get to here in a minute, it's even better. So just stop printing one item at a time.
I command you.
Please don't do it. Tip number 7, I will say this: never turn on auto return accepted. You don't want to be out here just accepting returns just because. People be lying all the time. Don't have your auto settings turned on and then somebody sends you something and it's a bad item. Even though you may accept every single return, still turn that off. You want to be able to review every single item that wants to get returned back to you. You know, you have the option to decline returns as well. Like some people will send you, or that some people will tell you that they just, oh, I just didn't want to buy the item, or I just don't want it, I didn't like it. Or they will give you crazy excuses sometimes to want to return. And I'm the type of person, like, I've declined a lot of returns. I'm not going to lie, like I do. If I messed up, if something that I messed up, I will gladly return you the order. Like if the order was messed up, if it broke on the way, like obviously when you got it, it didn't work, like I'm gonna accept your return. But if you can't tell me that, oh, I just didn't like it, like you shouldn't have bought it. You knew you was gonna either like it or not before you bought it. So yeah, just don't have auto return accept, even if you do accept every single return, because you can kind of get screwed like that. Yeah, so that's just my personal advice. Just turn it off.
Turn them off.
Tip number 18, where I guess we're right back to make sure that you get yourself a thermal printer. Invest in yourself. A thermal printer is probably one of the best investments that I invested in. I'm not even gonna lie. I used my other printer forever. I used my brother inkjet printer forever and I loved it. And then when I got a thermal printer, it sent me into a whole nother dimension. So if you can afford a thermal printer, please go get you one. I'm not trying to say it has to be a Rollo. I'm not trying to say it has to be any kind of particular brand, a Rollo, Dymo, or whatever kind of mo. Just get you a thermal printer. They work. Mine was pretty cheap and it does wonders, man. So go find you a little Netum thermal printer or just a thermal printer. It saves you so much money too in the long run. Like you'll save a lot of money on ink. It's beautiful not having to buy ink. Go get a thermal printer. Tip number 19. So you see they have something on eBay where it's like coupons. You can send coupons out. I personally recommend not sending everybody a coupon, but here's something I will do. Let's say if you're a seller who sell like something over and over and over, like I sell everything. I don't never have one item over and over and over, or if I do, it's rare. But if you're a reseller and you knew that you're going to have cell phones, if you know you're a person who has cell phones in your store and people are buying cell phones from you over and over and over, or if you like, you know, you're gonna have something particular in your store, then I would probably send out coupons. Like if somebody bought a brand new phone from me, I might send them a coupon like, hey, if you ever need to upgrade your phone, here goes a coupon. Or something like chips or something. That's even better. Like if I sold, these lollipops have been sitting next to me forever. So if I sold these lollipops on my eBay store and somebody bought 10 of them, yeah, I would send them a coupon again, because this is something that I can see somebody coming back to buy again. Some people be selling remote controls and people not going to come back to buy another remote control. Like you only need one remote control in your life, I guess. Unless, they happen to lose their remote control again. But I wouldn't send that person a coupon. Like, okay, they bought a random remote control from me. I'm not about to send you a coupon because you bought a random remote control from me. I can't supply you another remote control. I don't know. I mean, maybe you can send them a coupon. I know the thought is, well, maybe they'll come buy something else in your store, but no, they buy what they want off eBay. That's the purpose of them going on eBay normally. They usually type in what they want and then the items in your store pop up. I mean, that's just my advice. I know you could probably send them a coupon and every blue moon, somebody else might be like, well, let me go back in their store since I have a coupon and find something, but like, is it really worth it? No. Next tip is this. If you are a new reseller, charge the lowest price out there. Like you want to charge the lowest price because you want to get sales. Like in the beginning, of course, you want to worry about your profit margins, but you want to make sure that you're out there sourcing enough items that you can be able to offer the lowest price for an item. Don't get into reselling and then try to charge the highest for all your items, because you want to build your store up. It's going to be harder for your items to get seen anyway because you're a newer store. But if you have a lower price, eBay pretty much at that time has no choice but to show you, because people are going to automatically go in there and filter by lowest price, and yours is going to pop up. So if you have yours popped up, that's more people going to buy your items. And then once you build up that store, then you can kind of start playing with your prices a little bit more. So I would recommend like the first 50 items or so on your eBay store, you want to be charging the lowest price. I'm not saying like super low, but if you see somebody's charging $30 for an item, you want to be out there at $29.50. I mean, you just want to have like the lowest price available. And then I also did say in my last tips video, like in that same case, if you see somebody out there and they sold 1 million of one item and you happen to have that same item, going 50 cents under them is really not going to help you out. Because if I see a new seller selling an item, but then I see a seller who has 1 million feedback selling that same item and their price is 50 cents more, I'm probably going to go with the person selling it 50 cents more because I trust them and their item. So with that being said, you want to make sure your price is sexy enough for them to still want to come to you instead of the person that's been selling an item forever. And another tip I do have for you, that if you are a new reseller, share all your listings to social media. You have that option. Some of your friends, they might see something that they like. Some random stranger might see something that they like. So share your listings to social media. You're trying to get maximum exposure for your listings. So the more you share, the more potential eyes is going to be in your item. And that's the more potential of somebody actually picking that item up and purchasing it. So yeah, if you like I said, every time you list an item, you get that option at the end, share listing. Share those listings, especially if it's something that you think is going to be pretty popular. The next item that I do have is make sure that you allow offers on all of your items. The only bad thing about that is if you have the buyer must like automatically pay you, like if they must pay you as soon as they order, like that won't matter anymore. If you have your offers turned on and you accept an offer, immediate pay cancels that out for some reason. I don't get it. I wish eBay did immediate pay anyway. If somebody ordered something for you, they should go ahead and be like, okay, we're going to take the money if you say you're going to commit to this price. But they don't. So you may get people who send you offers that you may not trust. And how I combat that is, let's say if I get $100 offer from somebody and they only got like 2 or 3 feedback. What I normally do to make sure that they're real is I will counter them $1 more. So let's say if I wanted that $100 offer, I would go ahead and counter them $101. 9 times out of 10, if they're a fake account or a bot, they're not going to accept that offer. But if they're real, they obviously will. So you can kind of cancel out a lot of people like that too. Trust me, I've done that 1,000 times. Like people, I will send them that counter offer, and if it's a bot or if it's somebody fake, they will never accept it. Never accept it. It may have happened once or twice, but I'm telling you, it's like super rare. So yeah, I do use that all the time. Don't be afraid to counter offer, especially if an item just seems too good to be true. And sometimes if it's too good to be true, it's probably a scam, especially if you list an item for $100 and then somebody's offering you $110, just decline immediately. Don't even talk, don't pass go, don't collect $200, just decline the offer. And another tip, if you're a new seller, as always, just be aware of scams. They're gonna happen. People are gonna send you offers all the time and send you those text messages. We do know by now, just ignore them. They're just something you're gonna have to get used to until you build up your account. And another tip I have on here is do not feel bad when you decline a return. Like every business don't accept returns, so yours don't have to either. If you have accept all returns on, you're gonna have to accept every single return. But even if you do have don't accept return, you're gonna have to accept some returns. Like if a customer get an item and they say it didn't work, eBay is going to force you to accept that return. You're not going to have the option to decline that return. But it feels good when you see that option, decline the return on there, because you know it's not your fault. But for the most part, just don't feel bad if you ever have to decline a return. Another thing I will say is, please know that barrels happen. Please know that returns happen. Please expect the worst when it comes to reselling. Suspensions happen. Your account may get suspended for 3 days for selling an item that you had no idea was on the barrel policy. Things like this happen. Just trust me, guys. Expect the worst, even though we're always prepared for the best. You have to expect the worst. Like it's eBay. You're selling on another person's platform. So just be aware. Like bad things can happen on eBay. Dealing with the scams, dealing with all that. Just be prepared for it. And my final tip for you guys would be, please keep fees in mind when buying your item. If you out there and you see this remote only costs $1, but it's selling for $5 on eBay, you have to think about the eBay fees that are roughly around 13% or so. So you have to include that. And then you have to think about if you're gonna charge shipping. So if you see a $5 remote and you're gonna be the one who charges free shipping, like you can't buy this remote for $1 because it's gonna cost you $4 to ship it out, plus the fees. When it's all said and done, it's gonna be like $5.50, and you're gonna lose 50 cents into this item. So just have all that in your mind before you even see and purchase this item. You walk up to it, you automatically know, okay, I need to take out, I'm gonna charge free shipping, so that's $4. And then eBay fees, that's probably another 40 cents on this item. I gotta calculate all that up. So before I even buy this item, you have $4 into it before you even picked it up. So if it costs $1 and I bought it, that's $5. Then if it's only selling for $5, come on, you're already in the negative. So automatically have those fees into your prices. Because I hate when people say eBay fees are too much. That means you're sourcing for the wrong items. I mean, that, to me, that's all that means. That means your profit margins need to kind of tweak, and you need to twist exactly the items that you're out there sourcing, because there's no way I'm gonna complain about a platform who has 15% fees if my profit margins are still in line. Like, again, if I see this remote and it's cost me 25 cents and I know I can charge shipping on it, then I can make some money off of it. I can make $4, then lose. Like, I mean, you just have to think about how are you going to charge that item, what you're going to do with shipping. Like, all that needs to be in your mind before you even purchase that item. Like, you need to have thought about all of that, because we make so many mistakes buying items, taking it home, and then realizing, oh my God, it's going to cost me $30 to ship this item out. We didn't think about that before we bought the item, but now we're stuck because now if you charge free shipping, you're going to lose money, but everybody else is charging free shipping. So, but if you charge shipping, it's going to sit a little bit longer. So you're going to be caught in all that. So fees before you even think about buying an item. You know, eBay fees are probably going to go up next year. Keep that in mind. Like, you know, next year fees are going to go up. So already put that in your profit margins now. I'm serious. So yeah, going in, you know, just know all your fees. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully it's a good tip video. I wanted to bring another tip video for this year. We threw in some brand new tips in there for you guys, because some of the things that I kind of learned over this year myself, and some of the things I actually utilized and implemented for myself as well. Hopefully you guys can take this video and get some good information, because my last tip video, it did okay, and I know there's a lot of hunger for information, and I want to be able to provide that for you guys on this channel. But anyways, this is a long video because the tip videos are always long, and hopefully you got some good information. Let me know in the comment section if you got some good information. And if I forgot a tip, if it's a tip that you didn't hear on the last video or this video, leave it in the comment section, because we can always help each other out. I know I can learn every single day. I don't know it all, but I do know a little bit. But anyways, guys, this video is over with. Make sure that you bless somebody today, because I promise you I'm gonna bless somebody tomorrow. At this point in time, your boy Tay is out.